Have you ever hit post on a comment and just kind of wondered, what happens next? Well, it turns out you're doing way more than just sharing your 2 cents. You're actually sending out a super powerful signal. So today we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the secret power that's hiding in your comments.
So let's just get right to it and ask the big question we've all had while scrolling through our feeds. Does leaving a comment really do anything for a video, or are we basically just shouting into the digital void?
The answer is a huge, emphatic yes. In fact, comments are one of the single most powerful signals you can possibly send to a platform's algorithm. They tell the system what's hitting home with people and what's not, way more than you'd probably guess.
Okay, so let's dig into the power of a single comment. It's not just a little piece of feedback for the creator, it's a critical piece of data that directly influences who's going to see that content next. It is so much more than just words on a screen. And believe it or not, this isn't some new idea. Researchers figured out way back in 2014 that what people are saying in the comments is a huge predictor of a video's future success. Platforms caught on pretty quick that a buzzing comment section often means a video is about to blow up.
Here's a really simple way to think about it. A like is like a polite clap, right? But a real, thoughtful comment, that's a standing ovation. It shows a much deeper level of engagement, and algorithms are literally designed to hear that applause and push the performance onto a bigger stage.
But how does a computer actually read what you wrote? I mean, it's not just counting them one by one. The algorithms are using some pretty wild tech to figure out what you're really trying to say. First up, there's something called sentiment analysis. This is how algorithms figure out the emotional vibe of your words. Are you excited, upset, genuinely curious? That feeling, whether it's positive or negative, becomes a key data point about the video itself.
And then you've got semantic relevance. This is where the algorithm checks to see if your comment is even about the video you're watching. A comment that's on topic is way more valuable than something random because it proves you're actually engaged with the content.
So it all happens in this lightning-fast 3-step process. You hit post on your comment, the AI instantly analyzes it for feeling and relevance, and then boom, in the blink of an eye, it tweaks the video's ranking based on what you wrote.
And this is why there's a massive difference between a high-value and a low-value comment. A detailed opinion or a thoughtful question, that's algorithmic gold. But spam or just a simple lull? Yeah, the machine probably ignores that, or might even see it as a negative. It really can tell the difference.
But of course, whenever you have a system, you're going to have people who try to game it. And when a signal is this powerful, it doesn't just get used, it gets manipulated. And that opens up a whole new can of worms.
Just listen to this quote from a recent study. This user is basically saying they've developed their own theory about what the algorithm wants to see. So they're actively trying to feed it specific comments to boost a video, trying to cast their vote in a way they think will work. These manipulation tactics really fall into two main buckets. You got the human tricks, stuff like engagement bait, and then you have the much bigger problem, automated bot tactics, which are out there running coordinated spam and scam campaigns 24/7. And we're not talking about your clunky old spam bots from 10 years ago. Recent research has identified a whole new generation of these things. They're super sophisticated, they're constantly evolving, and they're designed to run these elaborate scams that make them incredibly hard to spot.
So what happens when these signals get twisted? When the data the algorithm is relying on gets corrupted? Well, the system starts to break down, and that leads to some really frustrating consequences for everyone, viewers and creators alike.
At the end of the day, it's pretty simple. Bad data leads to bad recommendations. When comments are being manipulated, the algorithm gets a totally warped idea of what a video is about, and it starts pushing it out to completely the wrong people. This leads to something researchers have started calling the anti-preference. Creators talk about how frustrating it is when their work suddenly gets served to an audience that will absolutely hate it. It leads to hostile comments and just total confusion. It's the exact opposite of what the system is supposed to do. And this brings us right back to our own experience. When all these signals are this messy, it's no surprise that platforms have a hard time explaining why you're seeing some random video. When people have audited those why this video features, they found the explanations are often super vague because the data underneath it all is just a chaotic mess. So, after going through all of this, how the system is supposed to work and how easily it can be broken, let's bring it back to you. What does your comment really mean? What is your voice inside this giant, complicated machine? When it all comes down to it, it's this simple. Your comment isn't just a message for a creator. It's a vote.
It's a piece of data that tells the platform, hey, pay attention. This is important. More people need to see this.
Just remember, all the different signals you're sending with one little comment. You're signaling popularity, you're giving emotional data, you're confirming the video's topic, you're helping build a real community, and most importantly, you're casting that powerful vote for what everyone else gets to see.
So that leaves us with one last question to think about. The next time you're tapping out a comment, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what story are you telling the algorithm?